I can just imagine the amount of screaming and yelling that Comrade Kamala is giving an absolute drubbing to this weak pencil dick Doug Emhoff. You know, Kamala just seems like one of the most angriest, because she's so phony and she just bottles it in. She seems like the kind of person, you know, years ago, I was a bartender 20, 30 years ago. She seems like the kind of person that would get throw a major tantrum if you messed up her salad or something like that. Doug Emhoff, whatever the hell his stupid name is, accused of forcefully slapping New York City girlfriend for flirting with another man at a ritzy gala in 2012. Witnesses are saying was alcoholic booze-fueled rage fest. It is absolutely making headlines everywhere. It is one of the most viral news stories happening right now today. Let me give you the skinny, and then I can't wait to share. You got to stick around for this video where fraud, phony journalist Jen Psaki, MSNBC, was just talking about his masculinity only a few days ago. But first, Vice President Kamala Harris's husband is being accused of slapping his ex-girlfriend for flirting with a valet worker at a ritzy gala in 2012, a new report claims. Second gentleman, what a ridiculous name, Doug Emhoff, who's 59, supposedly struck his then-girlfriend, described as a successful New York attorney, in the face so hard, he struck her so hard, she spun around while in a valet line after an event at the Cannes Film Festival in May of 2012. The three unnamed friends of the woman reportedly told the Daily Mail. All three sources requested not to be named due to fear of retaliation from Emhoff. That should tell you a lot right there. Who frequently positions himself as an ally for women. And all this erupting after a horrific performance by goofball tampon Tim in the debate last night against J.D. Vance. And now it's October 2024. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I can just hear, can you hear it? I can hear the screams coming from Comrade Kamala. He is being showered right now with pure, unbridled rage. On Sunday, this is just a few days ago, second gentleman made headlines for his interview with Jen Psaki, who credited him with reshaping the perception of masculinity. The irony is so beautiful here. It's so delicious. I love it when karma rears its ugly head. My fellow Americans, this is an amazing video. You need to tap the thumbs up because it's free and it helps us push. If you love your country, tap the thumbs up right now. It's free. Also, share this with everybody. This is beautiful news. It's delicious creme de la creme news. Check this out.
Important part, an interesting part of how people have talked about your role here is how your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. And I'm not sure you planned on that, but you are an incredibly supportive spouse. Has that been an evolution for you? And do you think that's part of the role you might play as first gentleman?
It's funny, I've started to think a lot about this. I've always been like this. My dad was like this. And to me, it's the...
Pardon me, I had to go get something for my stomach because I literally just had a adverse physical reaction to that dreck, that vomitorium, that absolute garbage. That is supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, that right there is supposed to pass as an actual broadcast, an actual segment on a nationally televised network show. Can you believe that drivel? If this guy is reshaping masculinity, it's like saying Dr. Jill Biden is a sex symbol. To me, it's the right thing to do, Emhoff said of his role as a supportive spouse. But here's the gist of this story. The three friends who spoke to the Daily Mail provided photos of Emhoff posing with the woman he supposedly slapped in 2012, as well as other documents corroborating the trip they took to the south of France around the time of the alleged incident. So we have receipts. The woman declined to comment in the story. The outlet said the Harris campaign did not respond to a request for comment on Wednesday. The alleged incident came just a year before Emhoff a successful entertainment lawyer, and Harris met on a blind date. Of course, no kids, by the way, between these two. It says a lot. The vice president, then California's attorney general, started dating Emhoff in 2013 and then married him in August 2014. After the alleged slap, the New York lawyer, who was not identified, called one of the friends, a male businessman, sobbing in her cab immediately after the incident, the outlet said. Emhoff, the friend said, had forced his way into the cab and was with the woman when she made the call. It was very clear what she was telling me, quote, the source told the Daily Mail. She said she was with a guy, her date, she was at the Cannes Film Festival, and he hit her. The second gentleman, your husband, you have terrible picks in VP, you have terrible track record, terrible policies, and you've got a terrible eye for talent. You didn't tell the American public about the absolute certainty of the cognitive decline of tombstone vegetable in chief Biden, and you have terrible decision making when it comes to picking a life partner, and you want us to give you the power to decide for the rest of us? Not on my watch, Jack. The woman allegedly told him, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to call the French police. I couldn't get a hold of her after calling back. The friend claimed that he got more details about what happened later on. Quote, it was something like 3 a.m. They were trying to get out of there, and they both had been drinking. There was a gigantic line for taxis, the source said. She went up to one of the valet guys, offered him 100 euros or whatever, this is a direct quote, to get to the head of the line. She told me she put her hand on his shoulder. Doug apparently thought she was flirting and came over and slapped her in the face. Can you believe this? This vile, reprehensible, demonic, gross, highly weird sack of suds. She slapped Emhoff back, the businessman said. My impression is that he had a lot to drink. She wasn't slurring her words, he said of the woman's conversation with him right after the alleged incident. She told me that she broke up with him that night. The pair had been dating for about 3 months, the Daily Mail said. The woman called her businessman friend because she wanted, quote, Doug to see her on the phone, telling somebody, her friend told the outlet. She felt that would afford her some protection. This woman feared for her life. There are millions of women who are scarred, have PTSD, have had their lives ruined, have their families uprooted, turned upside down because of domestic violence. You can sense by this eyewitness testimony, this woman was scared for her life. I mean, she wanted Doug to see her on the phone telling somebody because she was worried that that would give her some kind of protection. This guy's an animal. Second friend, another New York-based female attorney, also said that the woman also told her about the incident. They had dinner, quote. She said Doug was very charming and it was lovely. I find that hard to believe. Then I believe it was 3 a.m. It was still raging, but she was wearing 4-inch heels and a floor-length gown, so it was time to depart, the lawyer said. She said there'd been no fight before he hit her. You would have thought it was this fairy tale trip. She was completely caught off guard by Emhoff's sudden attack, the woman alleged. He hauled up and slapped her so hard she spun around. I mean, that's a lot of torque and physical force. To slap somebody that hard, I mean, most slaps you get, and I'm not an expert here, I'm not some sort of kinetic physical motion expert, but, I think just using common sense and your intuition, you see most people get slapped. I've been slapped before. I believe my wife has slapped me before, probably, for being an idiot, which I've been a million times. I would never, ever in a trillion billion years return the favor. But, you kind of get a little, I'm going to slap myself on camera here. But, most of the time you'd sense if it's just, even if it's a good, firm slap, I'm not an expert in slaps, again, that there's just a turn of the head. The fact that this eyewitness is testifying and corroborating that he, quote, slapped her so hard she spun around. She said she was in utter shock. She was so furious, she slapped him on one side and then on the other cheek with the other hand. To hit with that kind of force is more than just jealousy. It's more than just rage. It is an absolute demonic power trip. It is a power struggle that can only be conducted by a sociopathic, narcissistic personality. I know psychology. I've taught psychology. I've studied research psychology. I've had a lot of experience with anxiety and depression my entire life. So I know a lot about this. There is a definite psychological malfunction in this second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, and I knew it from day one, and let me know if you thought the same in the comments. All three friends said that the woman tried to leave following the assault, but that Emhoff forced his way into the cab with her, according to the Daily Mail. She said, quote, she wanted to go back to the hotel without him, but while she was shutting the door, he forced himself into the car, which she did not want. I think she asked him what the F that was that all about, end quote, in the car. And the only thing she could really get out of him was that he thought she was hitting on the valet. Can you believe this? Putting your arm on the shoulder of a valet, which anybody does. I do that to waiters and waitresses. I do that to anybody. I do that to strangers. It means nothing. It's just a physical gesture. It's just a common human physical interaction. It means absolutely nothing. There's no evidence that there was some kind of prolonged, long glances or excessive touching, or there was an exchange of some kind of, interaction or prolonged interaction. There's none of that. Literally a hand on his shoulder, and this guy goes into a full-blown volcanic rage. One source added she couldn't believe he is the person that he is, and that it turned into this trailer trash moment. She lamented. She realized he was bad news. This was the first time she saw his ugly side. The third friend, described as a female executive at a top company, said the woman told her about what happened in 2018 when then Senator Harris was in the news for grilling Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh over sexual assault allegations, according to the Mail. She is gorgeous, strong woman, and you would never expect somebody to hit her, she told the Daily Mail. Emhoff was allegedly unapologetic, she added. When he hit her, she hit him back, like, don't ever do that again, she said. I asked her if he ever apologized. She said no, but he commented about the hit she gave him. It was a tennis metaphor, but no apology at all. A tennis metaphor? What the hell does that mean? I play tennis. I don't know. There's no metaphor that can justify slapping a woman, especially that hard, ever. Even if it was just a light tap. You don't do that. You don't strike a woman as a man. If you're a real man, you don't do that. Real men do not domestically violate their women. They do not physically abuse their women. It does not happen with real men. Source added, all he said to her was, don't worry about it. You get one across the court and down the line. That absolutely is preposterous. I don't even know what that means. That's not even a tennis metaphor. It means nothing. The woman found Emhoff's reaction, quote, hurtful, but she didn't want to feel like a victim, the executive explained. Emhoff allegedly ended the trip early to return to Los Angeles for his daughter Ella's 13th birthday. You call yourself a father with a daughter and you treat women like that? I have a daughter who's 11, and he and the woman never saw each other again, the three friends said. The trio shared a copy of the couple's itinerary from the fateful trip, which showed a layover flight from Newark, New Jersey to Nice, France on May 22nd, 2012. This isn't the first time Emhoff has displayed misogynistic, selfish, narcissistic behavior. He was accused of betraying his wife over 15 years ago with Najee Naylor, a nanny who worked at a private school for their two children. Naylor supposedly became pregnant as a result of the relationship, but did not keep the baby. A close friend with the knowledge of the predicament told the Daily Mail. This is what happens when you try to run for public office. This is what happens when you try to run for the highest office in the land. All your skeletons, all the dark secrets start to seep out. And the more and more that our intuition starts raging about these people long before this stuff comes out, it's these kind of reports that only confirm what our intuition has been screaming at us for months, if not years. These are bad people. These are not the kind of people we want in control. We want in power. Trump is a father. He is a grandfather. He's a billionaire. He took a bullet for democracy. He doesn't need to be doing any of this, but he knows he can help the country. We were prosperous 4 years ago. He's already had one go around at this. He fired people. Yeah, he fired a lot of people, because they were bad at their job, because they're bureaucrats, which is something I know a lot about, having worked in the public sector for many, many years as a professor at the university. It's the same exact infrastructure. It's the same exact system and processes, and it's the same exact kind of woke ideologies that permeate the hallways and byways. We need Trump in 2024, 33 days left. We don't want misogynistic women beaters who cheat on their wives, impregnate nannies. What kind of sick, vile creep? And then she goes and has an abortion. Probably he forced her to have an abortion. And then you get married to this Kamala, this phony, this absolute charlatan. You don't have any kids with her because you're too focused on yourself. You're too narcissistic. You're too self-absorbed. And now you want us to hand you the keys to the kingdom? I don't think so. I hope you will join me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this a big deal? You think Kamala's yelling at him right now? Is this going to hurt their campaign? I'm going to really try hard to get one of these poor, disturbed, absolutely traumatized women on the show. If you or anybody you know knows who these people are or have a way to reach them, let me know in the comments down below, or just email me, nez@professornez.com. I would love to get them on our show and get the real full scoop of this, because I feel like there's so much more to this story, and I want to bring you the truth. That's the whole aim of this channel, is to bring you the objective truth. We do our own due diligence, our own qualitative and quantitative research, everything that the fake woke mafia media does not share with you, so you can be informed. So let me know in the comments down below. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, especially if you missed these. I just posted recently. Subscribe and follow by clicking that right there. Sign up for our free newsletter in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. Tap the like button right now. It's free and it helps us. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.